Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent's gone first and changed 5 tiles. I have a poor rack, only 1 vowel. But I have no duplicates, so I should be able to play through this. Bunty is going to score quite well. It would be nice to keep the N or the T rather than the L, which I could do with butyl. Yeah, I think I prefer butyl. Doesn't score quite as much, but the N's are much, or it is a more bingo-y tile than the L. Well, I now have 2 N's. I don't have a bingo with this rack. But I draw the second Y, which is a good scoring tile. Sin and Nis are both good, if I need to get rid of the second S in order to score well. I need to be sure I don't have a bingo with this rack. It's unlikely, but not impossible. Now, nonyl is good, N-O-N-Y-L, an anagram of nylon, which is also good. And butyl will take an S. But I don't think I'm going to score particularly highly with this move. I've got a double lane in column 5. And with the L and the Y, I need to consider words ending ly. And I've also got words with OUS in them, so a word ending OUS-LY would be playable in column 5. I think that's good. I'm going to check it though. Yep, that's fine. Now my opponent's provided a number of floaters. Do any of them provide a bingo? I don't think they do. So, can I play any of the moves I was considering earlier? Boomia doesn't take an R. Well, I could play Sin down here. Rackleaf's not great, but it is 30 points. But can I do better than this? If I played nylons in column 9, 22 points. 8 points less. No, that's not worth doing. I can't see anywhere to play nonyl or nylon parallel to Boomia. So I think I will go with this. It's not providing opportunities for my opponent. Great, I have do-lands and onloads. They play in column 9 and row I. That is a pretty lucky pickup. My Rackleaf wasn't particularly auspicious. Now my opponent may block both of those possibilities, but I think I would be unlucky not to have anything at all. Well, now to find out. Phi takes nothing in front of it, C takes nothing in front of it, so I've got nothing in row F. Fecal doesn't take an S after it. I have do lands in row I and eld. Good. Do I have anything else in particular through the L of fecal? Can't see anything through that. But that would be a word with two L's and two O's, so difficult to see. And anything through the A of fecal is not going to get doubled or tripled. And in any event, I can't see anything. So, do lands. £64 points. And that's a pretty good pickup. I'm going to be close to a bingo and may actually have one. I've got the ing ending. I don't have a 7-letter play ending ing. What else is available? Through a G, I would have pranging. My opponent comes straight back with a bingo. Thunders, nice bingo. He now has a 20-point lead. And he's provided 3 floaters. The R doesn't look particularly great, and none of the floaters allow me to play an ing word. So I'm unlikely to have a bingo here. Yeah, can't see anything. There is the R of Boomia to consider. But I can't see anything through that. Okay, that's a shame. So, what to do? Well, I guess the P is my scoring tile. I can play pure across here. Let me see what this scores. That's 36 points, which is a great score, but the rack leave is awful, keeping the 2 N's and a G. But it's 36 points. Can I do better? Now my P could go underneath the O of do-lands. So I could play panned across here. And this rack leave is going to be good, R-I-N-G. That's 27 points, so 9 points less, but a much better rack leave. So, is this the best I can do? It doesn't feel great, and although the rack leave's good, there's nowhere on the board for bingos ending ing. But I guess row M is available for bingos ending ings. Now I'm just considering playing in column 12, parallel to Thunders. I could play Pain, P, R and is. For about 22 points, I think I will go with this move. Well, not too bad. But is there a bingo here? I'm not sure that there is. Well, through an A, I would have Ignore My. No A available at the moment. I would need 2 R's for mirroring. I note for future reference that row M is a bingo lane towards the left because Sin takes C, D and E after it. I don't have any of those on my rack at the moment. Fecal has really blocked up the development of the top half of the board, so we could be seeing a lot of action in the bottom half and the board getting quite clogged. Row L is also a useful bingo lane for 9-letter plays, including IN. Well, a good score for my opponent. All of those moves are good. All of those words are good, rather. Now I can play Muir across here. Rack leaves okay, and that's 38 points. Through an E I would have Cognizer, or Co-Reigns. Unfortunately the E of Boomia doesn't work for Co-Reigns because Sin doesn't take an I. Through an S I would have Crossing. Which doesn't fit in row M, but Scorings does. I hope that will remain available, but it may well be taken out given the dearth of scoring spots on this board. So, are there any anagrams of scoring? Nothing that comes to mind, and I can't see anything with scoring plus an R. Now my C can go underneath Sin. So I nearly have Recognise. So I'm looking around for a second bingo, but I haven't seen one yet. "44 tiles in the bag, so we're about halfway through the game. And we're both doing okay on time. Great! Scorings can be played. Now, has my opponent provided another bingo lane which I can use in column 2? No, he hasn't. So let me play scorings across here. "65 points. And I draw a whole bunch of high-scoring tiles, but no bingo. The O of scorings is pretty usefully placed underneath a premium square. If my opponent doesn't use that, I may well. Now, my B can go at J2 in front of IOs, as can my G. So do I have a 5-letter play beginning with B or G? Well, I do. I have Bigae, B-I-G-A-E, which will be 40 points, which is excellent. Rack leave of KV is not good. Great, only 8 points for my opponent. Now, I hadn't looked in column 8 because I was expecting my opponent to go there, but now I can consider playing there. So I can play Boke. That's certainly going to be better than the column 2 play. I'm denying my opponent this spot, and I'm keeping a more balanced rack leave. And it's only 1 point less. Yeah, I think that's the best available in this spot. I now have a 90-point lead, which is about a bingo. There are a few bingo lanes on this board, though. Now I still have a G for going at J2, so I could play jived in that spot, keeping AE. 33 points, that would keep the scoring going. 26 points for my opponent, and I note he's only played one tile, so he could be close to a bingo. But having said that, he has blocked a good bingo lane in row E. Now, I note that Gal can take an E in front. So I could play jived in row D. 29 points. Is there a better score in that row? And I'm thinking about placing my V on the double letter square here. So, do I have a play which fits this pattern? Well, no, I was thinking of veggie, but that's spelt V-E-G-I-E. So I can play jived there, or jived down here. Let me just consider the score here. $37 points, I think I'm going to go for here. Not good. I kept 2 vowels and I pick up 3, so not surprisingly a vowel heavy rack. I do have the J for score. So I could play J-double-E in row D. 25 points. Now Geos takes an A in front, so column 1 is available with that A. But I can't utilise that hook to good effect with this current rack. Great, only 9 points for my opponent. Now, can I do something better than G? Well, add G is going to be better. Just because it plays off more vowels. It would be nice to play off one of my I's. No, I must be mindful of any good J spots in case I've overlooked them, because they can be very high scoring. Okay, well I can't see any, so this is what I'm thinking about doing. There's only 2 I's unplayed, so it's not a disaster keeping 2 of them. 27 points is a good score. I'm taking out a bingo lane. The A, playing off the A certainly does help the vowel consonant balance. So I think that's all good. Great, and I'm rewarded with a blank. And this is a pretty balanced rack. I don't think I have a bingo. I'm just going to hammer through the alphabet and see if anything leaps into my mind. Well, direct tricks through letters which don't exist. Good, only 21 points for my opponent. Not quite re-index. Trioxide through an O. Well, not really any floaters on this board. Okay, I can't see anything. So, what I'm looking to do now is play off the X and one of the I's. And score well. I could play Dex in column 1 at the bottom for about 40 points, but that is keeping 2 I's. I could play Dixie in column 14. Yeah, I like that. And let me explain why. Because at the moment I have about a 90-point lead. This is a good score, 34 points. I'm providing an opportunity up here for a non-bingo play. Now, a non-bingo play by my opponent doesn't worry me because I've got the blank and I'm expecting to bingo either in column 2 or in rows C or E. So I'd quite like to keep my opponent away from those bingo lanes, and providing a non-bingo hotspot is one way of doing that. And if my opponent does bingo or play elsewhere, and if I don't have a bingo next go, I have this available to use myself. So that's the logic. Let's see if it plays out. I have Eurolite that plays in column 2 and rows C and E. I've also opened up a bingo lane in row B for bingos ending in D. Now, Eurolite does take an R in front, and there is an R and a blank unseen. So if I played Eurolite in column 2, I would be opening up row A. Great. Well, my bingo lanes remain available. It's a good score for my opponent, which isn't so good for me, but that doesn't matter because he's 90 points behind, and I'm about to bingo and empty the bag. And I'm going to play here to avoid the danger of the R front hook. Actually, there may well be alternative bingos with this rack. I'm sure there are. There's rituals, for example. But I think this is going to be good enough. No, I should play rituals because playing Ruralite here opens up this column for a bingo. Rituals 63. Now, am I overlooking a better bingo lane? What about this K down here? What goes after R? What goes after O, rather? I think it's just an S, so that doesn't look promising. Yeah, I will play this. Great, I draw the Z, so I can play Woots and Zars in row C. My opponent's got a fabulous rack. He should be going out here with Revenue and EAS in row C. Let's see if he spots that. That's not going to be enough. Well, it's not going to be enough to win. He's 150 behind. He's going to get 38 on countback, so he needs to score about 112, and he's not going to do that. Okay, pass to end the game. And the final score, 408 to my opponent, 445 to me, a winning margin of 37 points. Let's see what I missed. So, it was my opponent to go first. He changed. And this was my rack. I played Butyl for 2 fewer points than Bunty because I preferred the NS leave to the LS one. My opponent played Boomia, and this was my Nylons rack. And wow, Sunny, a G5. Oh, right, coming down column 5 through the U of butyl, that's quite nice, 34 points. I think that was the play. I played Sin for 4 fewer points and a slightly worse rack leave. This was my opponent's rack. And here I had Doolands. And Lardoons at N2 is also available. Well, that's playing through the R of Boomia, and it's opening up row O. So, although it scores 8 more points, it's not 8 points better than Doolands. Nice bingo from my opponent. Now, this was my rack. Great, I didn't miss a bingo. Pure for 36 I considered, but didn't like the rack leave. And I played Panned for 27. Wow, my opponent had the cue for quite a while. He played Twee here for 34. And I played Muir for 38, and that looks best. And my opponent plays high, and I have scorings, which was the only bingo. My opponent played Gal, and I played Boke, but I could have got the same score by playing above. But the rack leave EGIV is much better than GIK. It's actually fairly synergetic. Well, this is when just going back a play, my opponent plays just one tile, and I was worried that he was close to a bingo, but in fact he had the cue at this point. This was my rack, and I played Jived at J2 for 37. My opponent plays All, and I did not have a good rack. Now, M1. Raj was playable down here, but with a horrendous rack leave. My play of a G for 8 fewer points is much better. IIR is a lot better than EEII. And I'm taking out a great hook which my opponent could have used. My opponent played P. Now, did I have a bingo here? Wow, I did! Editrix! I didn't see that. Well done if you did. That plays in row E across here. Wow, super word. Okay, what did I do? I played Dixie for 34, keeping the blank. The blank's worth 25. So add 25 to 34, you come to 59, about 60 points. The R's quite bingo-y. So that probably cost me about 20 or 30 points, which is a big miss. But Dixie does look the second best play. Now, this is my rack, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of bingos. Maybe I should have given more thought to one which obstructed my opponent. Yeah, there are no S's left, so for example, if I'd played Trisula across here, then my opponent would have had to have had a bingo ending in S, and instead I made a play which allowed him to have bingos ending in other moves, so I should have spent more time on this, finding the best bingo. But in any event, all of these bingos were winning, and finally my opponent had a whole bunch of bingos that he could have played. So, pretty good game, fairly high scoring, and yeah, it just flowed. I did have some poor racks, but there were always opportunities. And sometimes you have racks where it's a real struggle to find even a basic candidate move. This was a game where basic candidate moves came to mind very easily, and once you've got a basic candidate move, that's the move you're going to play if you don't find a better one. And once you've got that in place, it's far less stressful and easy to look for better moves. So the real pain comes in Scrabble when you've got a rack and you know it's better than changing, but nothing good comes to mind. That wasn't the case in this game, so it's a fairly easy game to play through. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.